Hi, this is a reading for your inner child. And we're going to find out how the inner child is manifested themselves in your life today. And then a little bit of the story of that. Perhaps this reading will help you heal, help you enjoy your inner child. Let's see. The card that I pulled that told me I needed to do this reading was a very fun, magical Five of Wands, but we'll see. I just put the deck and we will begin pulling cards. So first of all, this is how the inner child is showing up in your life now. Wow. Very in their full glory, Page of Earth. Very practical, magical fairy here. This one says, come on, let's go to this new beginning. All right, so I'm gathering that there's a restlessness in you and you're feeling called to something, very practical change. It seems to me that your inner child is manifesting with like an appeal very directly to come look at something. And it looks like a very magical journey into these sort of misty woods here. It's a very, very direct message here. So if you're feeling like you want to start something new, would be how this is manifesting or appearing right now. So your known past. Look at the star. This is what you know about your past. It looks to me like you are somebody who has done quite a bit of inner child work already. And you've really healed a lot of your past feelings. And she's the cupbearer here. She's holding this emotional healing. Okay. We'll find out more, we'll clarify both of these. But you are somebody who has already done quite a bit of inner child work. You know your inner child. Your inner child speaks directly to you in a very direct appeal. It says, come here, let's go look at this. It's very practical, but it's a result of the work that you have done on past feelings. Like the star, like she's really looked out over the darkness and the landscape here. To me, this card makes me think of the moon a little bit as well, because the moon is here. We are coming up on a full moon, Monday and Tuesday, Scorpio full moon, if you catch this reading before that. But the known past is known. You have shed light on the past, and we'll find out more. This is what is unknown. Okay, Seven of Water. Seven of Water, this is something that you need to know, hidden from you, that the cards want you to become aware of. This is a card about projections. It's a card about, she's very much into all of these fantasies. Seven of Water is like having choices, but this Seven of Water, she seems kind of dreamy, like she's just sort of sitting still because there's all of these concepts, these fish, these choices swimming around her, and she seems a little bit immobilized by fantasy here. And that seems true when I look at this Page of Earth. Like, this is a very magical deck, good tarot, but this Page of Earth is like daydreamy. So perhaps you are a bit dreamy, watery dreamy, not airy dreamy. Earth and water, these are how you need to become aware of how this inner child is manifesting. I'm really curious about your known past. It's actually the least easy for me to read as your tarot reader. Okay, the inner child. So this card is, who is your inner child, how old, etc. And we get an 8 of water. Pretty grown up inner child. Yeah. The age of dressing up like a wizard. Actually, that's what I see. When was that for you? When you believed in wizards, or you dressed up as a wizard? That's the age. It could be 8. For me, that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So this part of you that is a wizard, and the 8 of water is not about that. The 8 of water is about emotional lack of fulfillment. This inner kid is dreamy. Very dreamy, very up in the fantasy, fairies and beautiful fish under the sea, and being a mermaid, sitting in a giant flower under the sea, waiting for ships, treasure, is a person, I think, a reader, although I don't see, I think like a Page of Swords would make me think of reading more. I see somebody who's got lots of beautiful, fantastic stories, great imagination, but there is also a kind of restlessness in this one. Wants to go somewhere else. That this inner child is a bit escapist into fantasy. Okay, so the next card here is the critical parent. This is what I call that voice in me that calls me stupid, says, oh, your fantasies are unrealistic, and, this is a mean voice. So let's see, how is this manifesting in your life? Messenger of water. Yeah, she seems pretty stern looking at you. You're the little messenger of water. In other readings, a beautiful card. But you're a little inner kid, that seahorse. You're facing this really powerful, stern voice that makes you feel little. Okay? So that's the unhealthiness of your system of self-defense that you constructed as a child to survive this, whatever that was. And this looks like daydreaming through your childhood. Maybe you live by the ocean. Okay, so now this is your advice, is what kind of loving parent, instead of this stern messenger of water that makes you feel little, what can you do to heal? How do you talk to yourself as a loving instead of critical parent? Oh, and we get the King of Fire, this wise, heart-based, sweet, kind guy. He seems like a good listener. I feel like he has a good sense of humor. He's very heart-based. I feel like when you open up, that your critical parent shuts you down and makes you feel small. The cards are simply telling you to listen and enjoy and just be warm-hearted. Just let your mind be lit up like the sun, which is the happiest. Be happy and heart-based towards this really magical kid that's appearing for you here as a page of earth, as this great idea. We should do this. And there's definitely an escapist into fantasy here, but the King of Fire, what that person does, the loving way of receiving this child, is there's gold in vision and creativity and artistry in this magical side of you, this side with a great imagination. So to love that one forward, because they're waiting. They tend to wait at the shore. Yes, you waited around a lot as a kid. That's what I see. And your situation was one in which you waited. And while you waited to go somewhere that you wanted to go, you want to go there. You daydreamed and you went up into fantasy. This means that you're a wonderful storyteller. And so listen to the stories like the King of Fire with your heart like the sun. Listen. Be this loving grown-up that listens to your creative side. I think you might be able to actually do something genius with this creativity. That's what's so great about our inner kids. Like, they're genius at something. And we tend to ignore them and leave them alone, left up to their own devices, just like perhaps your parents did. But you carried the emotional, you carried the water for your family somehow. That emotional world of your family was your responsibility. You know that. And you found a way to gracefully carry that. In fact, you did it so gracefully, and this is what you can further know about your inner child, that you made a world that is very wise emotionally, sorted, watched, observed. So like your inner kid is a great patient listener, an appreciator, and a great audience, but also a great storyteller. Wow, this is really coming through clearly to me. That's what you need to know. You have a talent here for telling stories, for creativity that you're not aware of. All you know is about the burden. You don't know the gift that you also got by finding your way through this. And the King of Fire, who is passionate and really kind of can be very decisive and stubborn, but this one is fun and interested in listening to you, to your inner kid. That's what you're supposed to do instead of judge. And then you get this magical Ace of Air as your future, leaping off, flying, again, very much of this deck, but also the truth, the idea to know the truth and to fly, to just go for this truth that these cards want to communicate to you. It's actually a very clear and simple message, but we will clarify nonetheless and complicate it. Oh, let's see what's on the reason for this. Actually, nothing. Just upside down Queen of Air. I guess we could go with her. Let's see. Queen of Air, Moon. Yeah. High Priestess. It's very much about your wisdom and that you're in your intuition and to trust that. You have both the King and Queen of Air. You're good in the Moon, in the intuitive, secretive, magical mystery world. And the other thing I want to share with you is that the High Priestess appears at the bottom of the deck here. Trust your intuition. These bottom of the deck says multiple ways. Like, you intuitively know. You should listen to your intuition. It is calling you towards a dream right now. It's calling you towards, this is an Earth, very practical new beginning. This is actually somewhere in your life, and your inner child has this message for you. You're drawn to something, and you can trust your intuition about whatever that new plan, new idea might be, whatever it is. What you need to know is that you get stuck because you have trouble recognizing which fish to choose. So you have like lots of ideas, lots of feelings about the ideas, and you get stuck. You get stuck in that. Because you were the one that carried the water in your family. You healed others. You got into their feelings. So you must be empathic. And in order to handle this, you escaped into fantasy of another life, of sailing away. You did quite a bit of journeying in your imagination by water. You know, I see that. This is your critical parent. Here you are at home in the emotions. She is overdressed. She's crabby. Messenger of Water is a, the classy love offer in the deck. So usually quite a lovely card, the Knight of Cups. In this deck and in this reading, she is not at home in the sea, the Messenger of Water. Your critical parent wants you to get out of the feelings, out of your High Priestess ability to intuit, to do the moon work, your wisdom. That is very water-based wisdom that you have, that you travel naturally by water. Your inner kid does. You are as comfortable in the emotions as people are at breathing the air. You're a little seahorse in the sea, right at home. Okay, let's clarify. I'm going to clarify with this. I'm just sort of trying to see what I want to choose. I'm going to choose this deck. We will use the Mystic Mondays deck here to clarify. Okay. How is the Page of Earth appearing in your life? I'm saying you're being called to something, a new thing. Quite 3D. But also, it seems fun, and I feel like you're stuck. You're not sure. Okay, so something has ended. That's why you're being called to something new. This little Page of Earth has a new adventure. It's almost like a fool. Like, come on. Queen of Cups. Very emotionally mature. Again, like you're a mermaid. You're a seahorse. You're quite at home in the water. Little cross-species conflict going on in the house here between my dog and cat. And there is, I don't want you to squeak that, honey. Not right now. Okay. I'll get to you later. Okay. Excuse me. Yes, and here's this passion, this new idea that this Page of Earth is like it's like a magical seeming new idea. I mean, it's good because things have ended. You're comfortable, mature in your feelings. This is you, Queen of Cups. But you're being called towards a new something. You're very funny. My dog's inner child is coming out. Okay. It doesn't really add anything to this at all. You feel tired because something has ended and you've been struggling. It was a struggle. And you're kind of like, you're considering that maybe you'll just sit back here with your, and drink. This is you sitting, you sit, you get stuck. You finished. You want to just rest. So good job, major thing finished. But there's something new to do. And you're feeling that very powerfully. But your tendency is to be stuck. So let's find out a little bit more. So whatever happened in the past that you know about, that you looked at. The Star card. You carried the emotional water for your family. In the past, you carried the water. And the water carrier, Aquarius, was a beautiful Trojan youth that Zeus fell in love with. and Zeus turned himself into an eagle, and he carried this young Trojan boy up to Mount Olympus, where Ganymede, who becomes Aquarius for a long time, was the cupbearer and served all the gods and was charming and handsome. And then he got bored, and so they put him into the sky as the constellation Aquarius, who is the water bearer and healer, freed to be in the stars. Okay, so we get the Hangman. This is what you know about your past. Lots of waiting. It's probably why you're good at waiting. More Eight of Cups. This is your inner kid. Waiting. It looks like that's probably why you want to drink now. You finish something, and that's what people did in your childhood. There's lots of drinking, right? Boring. But you became quite good at hanging out and waiting. Maybe you filled the cups. Your family drank. It looks like a big family, big table, and you were the littlest. And you served your family by like literally pouring them drinks and waiting on them. You waited on your family. You're good at waiting. What else? Eight of Pentacles, and there's you while you wait, imagining all your wonderful creative ideas. So that is the gift. So all of what we survived as kids also gives us talent, and your talent is this amazing creativity. However it manifests, you make music, you make art, visual art, you make movies, you're a writer. You have an amazing imagination. I would guess that it is in the realm of fantasy, fairies and fairy tales, mermaids, that kind of fantasy. You have a rich fantasy life, and you did this while you waited. Your mind went wild while you waited on your family, served them their drinks. Hanged woman, you waited a lot, and you're very stuck because of that. You're good in the emotional world because I'm gonna guess everybody got all lubed up and super raw about their feelings around you. And it may not have been serving drinks, but you might have been like, sometimes the grown-ups are needy emotionally, and they just have all this emotion, and then you're the therapist. So then you know a lot of grown-up stuff that you translated into this rich fantasy life, or you escaped into a rich fantasy life. Because the grown-ups were just a mess around you. You carried their emotional water. You filled their cups. So they didn't love well, but you loved beautifully when you were little. To be able to fill 8 cups, then you know, who loves you in this? 7 of water, also 7 of cups. This is what you didn't know, what is unknown to you. And I see you sitting in this fantasy world revolving around you, and I feel like that got you through your childhood, but it's time, it needs to get translated into something where you're not so stuck. Okay, the sun. Very spiritual, almost like a high priestess feel, but the sun is joy, authenticity. This is like a freed inner child, the sun. Okay. The Hierophant. Spiritual wisdom. Again, knowing. There's a lot of knowing and wisdom. What else? And the 9 of Wands. We we saw this earlier, you really have come through something, a struggle. You have a great deal of wisdom as a result of that. It's on the spiritual plane. Like I said, and I immediately got the sense you've done inner child work. You've pursued a spiritual path. And yeah, you've done a lot of work. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I don't think, and underneath Three of Swords, there's your anguish, your betrayal. Yeah, that's it. So, you were old beyond your years as a kid. And you dealt with the pain by just going up into your imagination. It's quite an amazing imagination, though. It's like Hierophant in the sun. It's and that was your defense. So you protected yourself. So maybe you okay, so now we're clarifying your inner child, right? We said somebody like 8 of water, 8, 9, 10. It's the age of dressing up as a wizard, going on treasure hunts, imagining traveling to distant places, escape, fantasies of escape. This one has real and imagined escape. And you get with this child, the moon, alone, waiting. Just a lot of very lonely kid, but stuck, waiting out on an iceberg, waiting for the grown-ups. So you might be somebody who is waiting for somebody else to come in and make things begin to happen. Maybe that's what this one's, you're appearing here. You're waiting for somebody to join you, and that you learned that as a kid because you waited for the grown-ups, you waited on the grown-ups, you just sat there until then they're like, I need to pour out my feelings on my 8-year-old therapist. And then you came to life. So then it causes a pattern of needing other people to get you to go. I mean, to me, it's like you're off and then somebody needs you on. When you're off, though, you're gone into this gift, the gift of your magical inner life. We also get judgment here. So judgment is about ascension, escapism, again, like rising up out of a stuck place. It's very interesting how these cards are so similar. The two mountains, this sort of triangular relationship. Here's a full moon and so if you're thinking about time at all, we're coming up to a full moon. Judgment, it could be that this child listened, but also judged the stupid grown-ups around. That's quite common. Felt superior to the grown-ups when they, sorry about that, sharp sound, and a loner. Yeah. Good on your own, 9 of Pentacles. This little one is a loner, no doubt. Makes a world. The 9 of Pentacles, you make a very 3D world. So this one, you can turn to this one to help you with your home, with making it lovely, with stability. This person is probably, this inner child is a resource for you when it comes to decorating and making home beautiful. This is a part of that creative, I feel like it's a very visual creativity from what you did while you waited. You went into your very aesthetic, beautiful world that you created as a little one because of your 3 of Swords. your broken heart. You're just very abandoned. Very abandoned. You just escaped. And when the grown-ups became aware of you, they belittled you. If you interrupted their complete and total narcissist, self-centered, emotionalism, whatever they had going on, they made you feel little. Even though you are a seahorse in the ocean and they're encumbered with all this drama, you know. Yeah, and if you think about Aquarius, we think about Ganymede, that beautiful Trojan youth, and Zeus, the god, is full of himself. Like, this is your parental relationship. You were plucked up out of Troy, out of whatever life, they didn't care, to meet their needs, to fill their cup, fill their heart, fill their eyes, serve them wine, listen to all their trials and tribulations. And then it's like you have a narcissist parent. So you're better alone, you think. Yeah, they're coming forward more as also here as a Knight of Wands. This could be like a player kind of person. They could be like a lot of sex around you, this parent, or just super egomaniac, this Knight of Wands. Angry. They're angry sometimes. Knight, young, immature, and Eight of Swords. They're also immobilized. Okay, this is your critical parent. Modeled, perhaps, I'm getting modeled after one of your parents. But the critical parent is a construct that helps you manage life. You are perhaps angry, trapped. I know you're trapped. I know you feel stuck. You feel stuck. You're pissed. You want to take action. There's a lot of desire to take action, and the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are fast. Fire and air are the fastest ones, knights. But you're stuck in the Eight of Wands. And it is stuckness that is in your mind. And that is how your critical parent works. So your critical voice is telling you you should, but then makes you feel small, so you feel like you can't. And this is probably how you were treated by parental units when you were a kid. It's a real trip. It's really confusing to be told you should, but you can't. You're too little. I've had nightmares like this when I was a kid. It was like a big screen, and I was a tiny dot, and the screen was saying, "I'm this big, and you're just this little tiny helpless dot," and it was terrifying, overwhelming feeling of helplessness. You came from that feeling too, and you get immobilized. Even though you're fantastic, you have this amazing inner kid that wants to go. There's this very interesting tension between strong, passionate desire to go, to act, and being stuck, being up in your head. Nine of Swords is on the bottom of the deck for this critical parent. So like, you go up in your head for escape, but your head has also come to begin to torture you. Yeah, and it's just like waiting for you, to come, to go, to end this cycle of being stuck. You might be drinking, sitting around drinking. That's quite common. There's a new thing. Come on, let's go, let's do this. Is a new, that's what it's feeling. You're stuck, but you're stuck, but you're motivated. Okay, your advice, how to love this part of you into health, is the King of Fire. We're saying listen and celebrate with your full heart how wonderful and magical and wise. Like, this kindly elder is just like, wow, what an amazing kid. I'd never looked at this amazing kid before. This amazing person with all these stories and all these ideas, this great imagination. It's like on a spiritual level, your capacity for story. Story perhaps inspired by what you learned as a kid, like from playing therapist to your parents, filling their cups, witnessing too much grown-up behavior when you're too little. You know, it made you wise, like the Hierophant, right? See, there's your eye above. So you might be stuck in a kind of superiority feeling. So anyway, to get out of that, you're told to listen with your heart. And the sun came up, and the sun comes up for me here in this advice card of the King of Fire, because that's the Leo King, but also the sun. Okay. The Empress. Have fun, go on vacation. She's got a pomegranate, not a drink. She's similar to where you're manifesting as like, this one's drinking, this one's having healthy fruit in a tropical place. This is more fun. Yay. Your advice is have fun. Listen. Go to the places of your imagination. You know, forever I wanted to travel. And finally I went to Greece. That's what I feel like this is, like standing on the shore, looking at the ships coming and going, you know, waiting for somebody else to take you, waiting and waiting. Just go. Don't wait anymore. Just go. Listen to this call. Yeah, and change is coming. It's divine. The Wheel of Fortune. It's lucky. You were supported in making this change. Yeah, 10 of Cups. Joy, love, emotional fulfillment, right? Your inner kid fills in the 8, which is unfulfillment. 10 of Cups is with another, with a family, with other, because you're so lonely. There is a call to your heart. Listen to your kid. Be the family for your inner child. Like, so we get in the habit of looking, when's my ship coming in? When's my true love gonna arrive? Then I can start my life. You're enough. That's what I'm sorry, but all inner child readings are gonna teach you that you're enough. You're a 10 of Cups all by yourself. You can be the grown-up, you can be the kid, and you can have a great conversation in this rich, creative life. Where you travel both with your mind, but in reality, you know, go to Greece by yourself. That's what I did. Go to your tropical fantasy land. Get on that boat. Don't wait for somebody else. The King of Fire and the Empress are. I mean, the King of Fire has great willpower. Fire is the suit of will. He's very much about being a doer instead of a sit around a waiter. So he's going to take you on vacation, and that's what your loving, inner loving parent will do for you when you grow up and take care of this childish part of you that has this fantastic imagination, but has just been waiting their whole life to do things for when people turn on the switch. And so it appears to me you're alone, because it's the 9 of Pentacles here appears with this inner kid, feels alone, and just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And you know who they're waiting for? They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you, Alpha, King of Fire, full of will. Go for it. Do it. You can fill all of your own cups here. And all of these circles, all these wheels, that make me think about how we learned that something, it makes me think of this, the end of waiting. That's what the beginning of something new. That's how this child is manifesting in your life. In the future, we have definitely taking flight into all of your fantasies. So what is this future? What is the future here for this? Should you decide to listen to your inner kid, there's a King of Wands again. Yep, this is your loving parent. You are such a great adventurer. You are grown up, you have a beard. You are full of willpower, right? You took the wand that we saw back here. Here's the wand. So your little inner kid's like, hey, how about this? And in the future, you have taken that wand and you are charging forth on this adventure. You are not sitting around on your butt anymore. Although you might go somewhere tropical to eat a bunch of fruit and sit on your butt. Okay, not without some getting up in your head. This is never going to go away. No matter how much inner child work I do, I still have trouble with insomnia. It's in the night when I let my guard down and all the old patterns of my mind come up. And the thing is, you can still be brave when you're afraid. And that's like most of us learn, like there isn't going to be a time when I'm not afraid, when my anxiety goes away. But that doesn't mean I don't do stuff, you know? Like each of those swords is like, oh, I don't speak Greek. Oh, I can't. Oh, this. Oh, what if and where will I stay? And and you just take it one thing at a time and you make it happen. I just bought a plane ticket to Athens, and then I bought a return ticket 3 weeks later, and then I started booking Airbnbs and things like that. And people were so kind, and all the worries, I had them there too. But when I went there like this. I was like, I'm gonna rent a car, and I'm gonna rent a scooter, and I'm gonna go snorkeling, and I'm gonna get up every day and do these things that terrify me. And the first day I got on that scooter, I didn't remember how to drive it. I hadn't driven one since I was in college, and that's a long time ago, let me tell you. I got on that scooter and it immediately broke. But anyway, I'm on this road, and it's an island, but it was mountainous, and so all these steep curving roads, and it was just fantastic, gorgeous. And I just got scared. I got like this, all the fear. And I took my helmet, turned off the scooter, and I took my helmet off. And there were these crickets or grasshoppers or cicadas or whatever, locusts, I don't know. Rant, 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 rant. And it felt like a god talking to me. It was very powerful. It was almost terrifying, but it felt also like here I was in a mythology. I was in Greece on Naxos, and on this gorgeous island, and I had entered into the fantasy world that I see this inner child that you has this incredible fantasy world. You probably still resort to fantasy, but I wasn't sitting there fantasizing. I was on a freaking scooter. I was in there. I was this guy. I was the hero of my own story, not bearing water for some sick people, Yep, there's you moving. 6 of Swords in the future. Travel, travel, travel. This is an abstract image. You should see the movement in the shape there, almost like waves. Swords are ideas, can be a movement, change of your mind, but I see you traveling. I see you translating your anxiety into courage, and leaping out into your magical visions for yourself that come from this beautiful kid who wove a lot of fantastic visions for their life while they waited on all of these needy, drunk, whatever, drama, narcissistic grown-ups, you know, who made you feel little. You are little, but look, you're perfect for travel. You are in your element when you travel. Yeah, I think you are, your kid wants to go play somewhere, and that you should listen like this loving parent, this king of fire, and take her on her fantasy vacation, or him, or them. Yes, I hope you go, my friend. The only way to get off your butt is to get off your butt. No matter how scary it is, don't wait around for somebody. Go live your dreams right now with you, with your inner kid. Go make it happen. You know, maybe that somebody will come in. I don't see that here. I see a solitary journey where you don't need somebody. Doesn't mean there's not somebody. It's just you don't need them. You can just go off and be the hero of your life. Yes. With a beard. Okay. I love it. I'm happy for you.